Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Sesame Street 50th anniversary collection from China Glaze for holiday 2019. There are 12 polishes here altogether. They are mostly glitters, which I can appreciate. I found these on polishpick.com. They are also on 88beauty.com right now, and I think there are some sets, maybe mini set on Ulta as well, but you're gonna get a better price from 88beauty or polishpick.com than you would from Ulta. So 12 polishes here altogether, and now we'll get into the swatches. The first polish is called Giggling All The Way, and this is an almost coral pink metallic. So here is one coat. This is a bit sheer on the first coat, but I was really happy with how sparkly this was, how it was more of a foil kind of metallic and less frosty, because it's more on the foil side, which means it has those bigger sparkle pieces in there. They're a little bit chunkier. Not chunky as in chunky texture, just like you can see them, they're bigger. I never know how to word that. Anyway, because of that, you don't get a lot of brush strokes when this is wet, and the ones that are there will go away when it dries. And good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. I do think, depending on your application and how white your nail line is, you might need 3, but I don't think it's super likely. And there's no texture or grit or anything to this, but you'll want top coat anyway. So that is 2 coats of Giggling All The Way. So the next polish is called Fa-La-Ah-Ah-Ahhh. And I actually had to write that down because I just could not remember how many syllables were in there. So this is a purple with a really strong gold shimmer running throughout it. Because of that really intense gold shimmer, this one is definitely more on the sheer side. The purple color in there is a pretty sheer jelly base. So this will take a few coats to build up. And good formula on this one as well. Maybe a little bit on the thin side, but not terrible. So this is slowly starting to build up on that second coat. It's definitely going to need a third. If you look at it from some angles, you can still see the nail line, but from other angles, that gold shimmer is so blinding that it's hard to pick out. I think it's going to look fine in 3 coats. And the shimmer is not glitter, so you won't have any texture issues or problems removing it. So this one does cover mostly in 3 coats. If I look closely at it, I can pick out some nail line, but it is really minor, and that gold shimmer is really strong, so it helps distract from it. And this is definitely sheer enough that you could use it as a topper if you wanted to as well. I guess it would depend on the color, whether you lose that purple shade with it or not. So that is 3 coats of Fa-La-Ah-Ah-Ahhh. The next polish is called Me Ate Santa's Cookies, and this is a blue metallic. This is a frostier blue, so there are quite a bit of brush strokes through that when it's wet. I'm going to try to make those as even as possible. It is also still a little bit sheer, so it will need a second coat. Not the biggest fan of frostiness, and good formula on this one as well. So those brush strokes actually smoothed out, I can't even speak. They smoothed out really nicely after the polish was dry. There are still some brush strokes there, but they're not as bad as I was expecting. It's been a little while since I did my pictures. I think most of the unevenness that I see in that dried first coat is more the ridges on my nails and less actual brush strokes through the polish. If you do something crazy, like drag the brush sideways across your nail or something, you're still going to be able to see that though. This also dries a little bit dull, so you will want top coat. That is 2 coats of Me Ate Santa's Cookies. So the next polish is called Brought To You By, and when I look at this, I see a green polish with a blue shimmer, and then the 2 things come together and make it look a little bit teal, like a medium to dark teal. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. It's in a slightly jelly base, but the shimmer does stand out pretty nicely. I think the base is a little bit shimmery, and then it also has that blue shimmer in there. And good formula on this one. So this one does start to build up on that second coat. I'm unsure how I feel about it, whether I think it needs a third or not. I think it looks good here. I think I'm going to call it good in 2. You might end up needing a third, just depending on your application. And hopefully this isn't one of those times where I get to the computer to edit this video and it looks way more sheer than it did in the viewfinder. That just happened to me the other day. So that is 2 coats of Brought To You By. The next polish is called Since 1969, and this is the only glitter that I'm going to swatch for the video on its own, because this is in a tinted base. This is a really, really fine silver metallic glitter in a slightly maybe blue-gray jelly base. So here it is in one coat. There is a ton of glitter in there to give a lot of coverage, even though that jelly base is pretty sheer. And there are some just slightly larger silver glitters in there as well. They're pretty sparse though, and that fine silver glitter has so much sparkle to it that it is hard to pick those bigger ones out. They don't seem to sparkle as much. And good formula on this one as well. So this one is starting to build up on that second coat, but I think it could benefit from a third, just barely though. You could probably get away with 2 here if you really wanted to. The glitter that's in here is so fine that I'm okay doing a third coat. Usually with glitters like this, I don't like to do a third coat because it gets so thick and then you need a coat or 2 of top coat to smooth it out on top of that. But because the glitter in here is so fine, I'll be able to layer a third coat on without it getting too thick. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. It was really close in 2, but I do get a darker color out of that base once that third coat is on there, which actually isn't picking up that well on camera. You will definitely want top coat for this to smooth it out. It is going to dry textured because it is a lot of glitter that's in there. So that is 3 coats of Since 1969. So now we are getting into the glitter toppers. I have 7 of them coming up here. I do have swatches of all of them on their own and over bases, but I'm going to show them over bases for the video. I think that works a little bit better for most of them. This first one is called #ThisIsMyStreet, and this is a chunkier, it's not super chunky, but it's not really fine either, clear-based glitter topper. It's mostly a really pale gold holographic glitter, but there are some blue holographic glitters scattered in there as well that you really can't see until you get it on your nail and over a base color, because the holographic is so blinding that it makes it hard to pick them out in the bottle. So I am layering this over Stamped in Sedona from Painted Polish from the Desert Dreamscape collection. That is very new. I'm actually using Painted Polish creams for all of these bases because they're nice 1-coat creams and I can get through them really quickly without having to sit here and do a 3-coat polish before I can actually film the topper. So here is 1 coat, and you can see once that's on the nail, those blue glitters stand out a lot better. I actually didn't know that there were blue glitters in here until I started painting it on my nail. Now, because all the glitter in here is one size, it does make it a little bit harder to get everything evenly distributed and not have big gaps. It's not terrible, but it does take a little bit more work than a polish that had several different sizes of glitter would. And this is definitely dense enough to layer on its own. I just think it's a little better suited as a topper. It will definitely dry textured. That's a lot of glitter in there, and it's a pretty large glitter, so you will definitely want top coat to smooth that out. And it's going to be difficult to remove. Again, it's glitter. So that is 1 coat of #ThisIsMyStreet. The next polish is called 50 Shimmering Years, and this has a really, really fine, almost rose gold, like slightly pinky micro glitter in there, and then some slightly larger silver holographic glitters. And I'm also layering this one over Stamped in Sedona from Painted Polish. I do have photos of this one on its own in 3 coats. It definitely builds up well. You could easily wear this on its own as a 3-coat polish, but it's going to be so much faster for me to edit it if I do it over a base. So here we are. Because this has a finer glitter in it, it does distribute a lot more evenly than the last one did. Saying that, the last one was not bad, but this one is, there's no thinking involved at all. You put it on and everything's in there evenly. So like the last polish, this is glitter, so it is going to be difficult to remove, and you will want top coat to smooth that texture out because it's not going to dry smooth at all. That is 1 coat of 50 Shimmering Years. The next polish is called a Grouchy New Year, and this is a fine green metallic glitter, a really, really fine green metallic glitter, and then a chunkier gold holographic glitter, all in a clear base. And I'm layering this over Painted Polish Stamped in Cacti. And like all of the glitters, I do have photos of this in 3 coats on its own as well, but I don't really love this in 3 coats on its own. So the glitter distributes pretty evenly with this one. Again, because there are several different sizes, that makes it much easier to do. This has the chunkiest glitter in it of any of the toppers. So this is definitely going to have texture to it and definitely going to be difficult to remove without a peel-off base coat. So that is 1 coat of a Grouchy New Year. The next polish is called Cele-Bert, and this is 2 different sizes, both very fine, of this kind of like citrusy yellow-green metallic glitter. And I am layering this one over painted polish stamped in cacti. This one also has that really fine glitter in it that can stand up pretty well on its own in 3 coats and doesn't get too thick when you build it up in 3 coats either. And does distribute pretty evenly. I would go over a few spots here just to make sure that everything's even. And good formula on this as well. None of these glitters have been thick at all. So that is 1 coat of Cele-Bert. The next polish is called Gift For You, and this is another really fine and slightly fine glitter mix in a clear base. This one is more of a darker pink. There are a couple, I don't know if you're going to be able to see them, silver glitters on the back of this bottle, but there's only like 7 of them, so I'm not sure that they're actually supposed to be in there. I don't see them anywhere else. You can kind of see them there and there and there. And I am layering this over Stamped in Sand from Painted Polish. So this one also has the really fine and slightly fine glitters in there. It has fewer of the really fine glitters. So you could totally build it up in 3 coats on its own. Again, I have a photo of that, but I'm not sure it would work as well as 50 Shimmering Years or Cele-Bert did. And I also do have to do a little bit of manipulation to get those larger glitters spread out evenly, but it's not bad. So that is 1 coat of Gift For You. So the next polish is called On The Nice List, and this is a really fine red metallic micro glitter and then really small, skinny, short, metallic red bar glitters. And this one is also going over Stamped in Sand from Painted Polish. This one also builds up decently on its own in 3 coats, but you lose those bar glitters if you wear it on its own. And good formula on this one. Those bar glitters really don't want to move around. Once they get down on your nail, you really can't make them go anywhere else. So you will want top coat for this one as well. The texture won't be as intense as the other polishes because that red glitter is so fine and those bar glitters are a little bit flatter, but you will still have some difficulty on removal and you will still have a little bit of texture, so top coat. That is 1 coat of On The Nice List. And the last polish is called T Is For Tinsel, and this is a super fine silver shimmery base with larger silver metallic glitter, and this also has a blue shimmer that runs throughout it as well. And I am layering this over black. It builds up pretty well on its own in 3 coats, but I really wanted to put it over black so you could see that blue shimmer. I do have a photo of it on its own in 3 coats, but the blue shimmer is kind of lost when you'd wear it that way. So this is in a really fine silver shimmery base, so it covers pretty evenly and pretty well. And good formula on this one. There is a lot of glitter in here, so you will need top coat to smooth it out, and it will be difficult to remove. So that is 1 coat of T Is For Tinsel. So there were a lot of glitters in here, which I really liked, but my 2 favorites actually ended up being Giggling All The Way, and I don't even want to say this, Fa-La-Ah-Ah-Ahhh, which are not the glitters. I really like the gold and the purple in this one. It was a little bit sheer, but to get that gold shimmer is totally worth it. And then I also really appreciate Giggling All The Way because it was a very sparkly kind of foil metallic. It wasn't frosty at all, and you really can't tell that from looking at it in the bottle, but I really liked it on the nails. I also appreciate all the glitter, but those 2 still stood out to me the most. So that is the China Glaze Sesame Street 50th Anniversary Collection for Holiday 2019. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.